guys, John for MTG Nexus coming at you with an unexpected stream tonight. This was a list I saw get played a couple days ago by probably about a week or so ago. I want to give credit to the DaibloXSC. It's a Esper Midrange list, but basically it's an Obzedat Reanimator list. Built around the card Garroyo's Vengeance, kind of more in a fair way by bringing back Jace's Prodigy and Obzedat Ghost Council. Obzedat is probably my single favorite Magic card ever. Unfortunately, it's just not usually good enough in any format. And I'm not saying it's good enough in Modern, but this was a shell that was interesting enough to me. And then basically it's a Jund-esque deck with those kind of as your creature win cons, and then using Teferi, Time Raveler, and Liliana of the Veil to accrue advantage. Obviously Teferi good against counterspells, Liliana pretty good at pressuring opponents' hands, pretty good in a Death Shadow kind of world, and then the rest of the deck's just a blue-black control deck. You know, you're using things like Bloodchief's Ascension, Fatal Push, Thoughtseize Inquisition, Collective Brutality to disrupt what your opponent's doing, Cling to Dust, Thought Scour to accrue, to cycle through your deck. You know, you are filling your graveyard a little bit with Jace and fetch lands and such, so Cling to Dust can often be brought back at a couple different times. Thought Scour, you can even target yourself to try to mill over an Obzedat. And then obviously Garroyo's Vengeance, you know, as a play on your legendary creatures of Jace and Obzedat. Beyond that, running 19 lands, we'll see if that's correct. I don't know. I think Diabolo went 3-2 in the league I was watching. So, I mean, there are certainly possibly issues with the amount of decks, but deck does have quite a bit of cantripping going on. And ideally, you want to stop at 3. You really don't want to be hard casting Obzedat, although you can. You know, you're more trying to grow his Vengeance at back, but, you know, you still can't get to 5 in a longer mid-game. A couple copies of Nihil Spellbomb for any type of opposing graveyard shenanigans, as well as Uro being a thing. Pithing Needle, just when you need to stop random things like Run-In 6 and such that can be a problem otherwise. 3 copies of Aether Gust, because green decks with Uro are a thing, red decks with Prowess, Blood Moon, etc. are a thing. 3 copies of Damping Sphere, Tron, and Storm are still things out there you have to be mindful of, especially as a mid-range deck. 1 copy of Narset, you know, kind of can almost take a Prison outlook in the other games. You have 1 copy of Narset here, a couple copies of Ashiok Dreamrender. You know, Narset obviously makes things like Uro a little bit worse. They don't get to cantrip with it. Ashiok, you know, stopping fetch lands, giving Titan deck fits, etc. Ashiok Nightmare Muse is an interesting one. Once again, it's a 5-drop in a 19 land deck. And then 2 copies of Engineered Explosives as kind of your pseudo sweeper in this list. So, I have no idea what to expect in terms of results or stuff, but I'm a sucker for an Obzedat deck, and this one caught my eye when I saw its original. No, I don't want to play 2-man queue. I want to play the league. Thank you. Alright, so let's see how it goes. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. I unfortunately had to take the day off work because I've felt like a complete train wreck. I'm still not 100%, but so if you see coughing, I apologize. And I'm going to do my best to get through the stream without hacking too much. Those of you catching this on YouTube later, I do apologize for the coughing as well. And big stuff going on in Magic with the Super Qualifiers this week, as well as Wizards rolling out some type of where you can get a God account to get all the cards. You know, novel idea, but, you know. Okay, show chat, show game log. So pretty sure we keep this hand. Can't cast a fairy, but we have a Cling to Dust here. We have Groyos without having the creatures, but we're up against fish, huh? So what do I take here is the question mark. Double Ether Vial, it's kind of hard to take one of those. Could take one of the Lords, or I could take the Force of Negation. I think we take Force of Negation, hoping to land a Garroyos at some point. Like, if they only had the one Ether Vial, I think it would just be a snap, take the Ether Vial, but let's go ahead and cycle this Cling Dust. And we awkwardly draw Jace Van Bryn's Prodigy. Saying it's awkwardly because obviously would be nice to have played it on curve, but maybe we'll get lucky and spike an Obzedat here. Nope. Leona of the Veil. This feels like a matchup where Engineered Explosives is going to be particularly good with their high reliance on 2-drops. Feels like a they're going to play Vial and then one of their other creatures. No, Dismember. Okay, I mean, with Vengeance, I don't know that we particularly care, but we just kill this, pass with Garroyos, use Jace with the block. Just trying to preserve our life total as much as possible. Yep. So far our opponent's played out every single card we know. Reedry? Sure. Take a block while we can. Do you think we're losing this game unless we draw something nice here? Skill push kills this guy. Guess we Liliana here. Maybe that's just a push, bounce, push. Was the play. Why would you sack Mutavault here? Yeah, I understand you want to keep your lords in play, but don't you want to keep the harder to deal with threat, especially when I showed you Bloodchief's Ascension? Or Bloodchief's Thurston Ascension. People. Presume they attack this one at this one at Liliana, that one at Jace. Yep. So what is the minus on this? 3? Oh, isn't that convenient? Plus on this. Likely with a land in hand. Alright, well, that's going to be a rough one to beat. This, so we have Revolt online. Here's a Bloodchief's. Yeah. Just leave the fetch land in. Okay. So, like the engineered explosives, I like the pithing needle to stop ether vial, potentially mutavault. Don't think I would bring in more than one needle. So beyond that, Ether Gust obviously doesn't hit anything in their deck. Damping Spheres, kind of whatever. Narset, they don't really do a lot of cantripping other than the one Merfolk. Not really a matchup for Ashiok. Not really an Nihil Spellbomb matchup. Probably trim. It's a Trim of Vengeance matchup. And Trim of Seas. Brutality isn't great, but it's at least a kill spell. Well, this is a weird hand. Do think we have to mulligan this one. This hand's also got some mana issues. I think we keep this one and put back one of the Tefts. We at least have a Fatal Push with this hand, so we at least have a little bit of interaction. Thick Biomancer, sure. It's going to hold up Fatal Push here. More likely to want to play EE onto, maybe push this Engineer Explosives onto. A lot of it depends on what they do with their turn. If they just play a Lord and attack, I think we kill the Lord, let them have the Biomancer. Relic, sure, whatever. Sure. I mean, our opponent does realize we can hard cast our stuff, right? Am I okay with throwing away a Jace to force them to burn their entire turn? I think the answer to that is yes. Spell Pierce or a Force of Negation. Feels like a Spell Pierce or a Force of Negation pause. Force of Negation, pitching Force of Negation. Okay. Presume you crack one of these relics at the end of the turn. Sure. Yeah, I was supposed to be at work today, but I felt like crap and stayed home. So I figured I'd try to give a short stream boot tonight, Liberties. I think I pop Relic here, or pop EE here. They get to cantrip with these, but these are gone at least. I think I leave the fetch land even though I'm taking an extra point of damage to play this Tef. That way I can have a Revolt trigger for Fatal Push. Paying costs. Sure. Sure. This is a Thoughtseize Ourself moment. I feel like this is a Thoughtseize Ourself kind of moment. Opponent could obviously be chilling on a Dismember or something. I think I'm happy leaving Tef alive. Seems like a poor attack, especially if you know I have Fatal Push in hand. Like I said, that just seemed like a poor game plan on our opponent's part, especially when they know we had what we had access to. This hand's pretty fine. Yeah, we're on the draw. Still think this hand's fine against a lot of matchups. Goblin 1984. Cheddar Goblin 1984, sorry. Let's see what opponent's up to. Fatal Push, Fatal Push. We take the card advantage engine. I don't even have black mana right now for Fatal Push. I stand corrected. I think our life total is basically irrelevant here. The fun part with their deck, though, is there's a Thought Scour. Alright, so we just draw another Jace. Let's just get in the line. Their Fatal Pushes up, which is fine, I guess. Still know they have Force of Negation and Uro in hand. Opponent get another Jace. They did. So it looks like our opponent is on Sultai. Interesting. So their hand's Force plus. That's interesting. So I think I'm going to save the fetch land here. Actually, I don't think we pitch Ghost Council here, do we? Take their Force of Negation. Because next turn we're going to try to slay Obzedat. Well, I don't think it will resolve Knight, but we will try. They might be hard-pressed to deal with a resolved Obzedat, although I don't know that Obzedat's going to be able to race a Uro. Mm-hmm. Hmm. They have main deck Narset? Hmm. Not really sure what to do here. Don't really want to Inquisition and put their Uro in the graveyard. So I think I just plus... And... I guess I could have minused on Thought Scour potentially. Because we could find a Cling to Dust or something to deal with. So it's just gonna bury us doing what Jason Uro decks have been doing to the format for the last I don't know, a year or so? Has it been that long? I don't really want to crack the silent clearing, but at the same time, feels like I need to. Can I get a vengeance, please? Well, I mean, hopefully this Thoughtseize can clear the way. I think we just pass. We do vengeance on opponent's end step. And then if they don't have Force of Negation, we get to flash back vengeance. All I can think of while I think of vengeance is that line from Batman the Animated Series, I am vengeance, I am the night. Well, I mean, we'll try. Please have any counterspell besides Force of Negation? Yes? No? Three. Turns Breeding Pool to its owner's hand with Cryptic Command. Huh? Sure? Question mark? I should have probably actually minused on whatchamacallit here first, in case they abrupt decay this in response. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Does Dad get to rumble or not? Looks like the answer is yes. Stack the triggers correctly. It's an interesting one. I think we go to combat first here, force our opponent to Cryptic us. So they're probably going to bounce Obzedat. Counter target spell. Which is fine, because this is the one we really wanted to resolve. Plussing this, so we have a way to answer Uro, should come to that. Yeah. Jace or Blood Chief's Thirst? Yeah. That makes our job significantly harder. I mean, opponent's already burned through 2 mana leaks. I'm not respecting a counter spell here. And besides, were they going to counter and put it in the graveyard? What a weird game. Okay. A third Mystic Sanctuary? Or are you just playing another Uro? Seems to be odd to be fetching now. Okay, Jace. It's what, their third Jace? It's indeed their third Jace. Oh, that was insane. How did we win that game? Yeah, Liberties, that was, but how did we win that game? We had no business winning that game. I don't think I want to bring in the 5-drop against the... This is the one card that I was just like, why is this in the sideboard? I mean, I understand you need other win cons, but... It seems dubious. Fatal pushes aren't, like, fantastic in the matchup. Like, obviously, we still need some for Uro. Blood Chief's Thirst is decent for dealing with Jace. Liliana probably isn't, like, completely fantastic in the matchup. Probably go down 1 Garroyos, because they'll probably be bringing in their own. Definitely want Time Raveler. Probably can go down a Collective Brutality. Just think the other... Or do we go down? So that leaves us with 2 Brutalities, 3 Lilianas, 4 Thoughtseizes to plus 4 Jace. Yeah, I think that's more than enough. Yeah, I mean... Hello, Inquisition, my old friend. Blood Chiefs, Archmage's Charm, Archmage's Charm. Take an Archmage's Charm and pass the turn. Like, do I jam a Jace and hope that they Blood Chief's Thirst that, or do I just double discard spell here? Feel like I discard spell, go from there. Okay. Don't want to use the Thoughtseize yet. Yeah, I can clear out Blood Chief's Thirst, but I'm much more interested in okay, you know what their draw was. They'd probably take Teferi here, right? Yep. I think we save the Thoughtseize for next turn and land Ashiok. Alright. We still know their entire hand, so we don't even have to Thoughtseize next turn. Sure. The only question is, who am I milling here? Okay. Okay. I mean, there's a chance the card in their hand could be like a Jace or something, but I feel like it's still a land. Yep. Let's cut off some of their outs. Hopefully they didn't hit like a cryptic command here, but if they did, they did. It's kind of whatever. Wow. What a weird, weird match so far. Oh well. Well, I mean, I don't know if this deck's good or not, but it's entertaining. I think we keep this hand. A little bit dubious, but I think it's fun. Especially on the play, seems fun. Maybe fetch away one of these lands. Always Groyos back the Jace for opponents heavy on removal. That isn't Path to Exile. Gonna fetch land and pass. Well, okay, we're up against Heliod Combo, so I'm a little less concerned about having my land blown up. Ranger Captain, sure. Go grab Ballista. Yep, not playing any more spells this turn anyway, so kind of whatever. Hold Jace back, although it's not doing much. Conclave Mentor into Walking Ballista. Pinging Jace, or are you pinging Lily? Alright. That's kind of awkward. So am I more interested in flipping Jace or doing some fun stuff here? What am I fetching? Guess we'll get our second white source. Oh, give me a fatal push or something. Well, good. Inquisition first, because we're only going to be able to do one of these anyway. Their hand is Arbor Elf and Collected Company. All right. Is our opponent going to main phase? Okay, 5 mana is a little weird. Alright. One thing we're missing is a kill spell. I mean, creature matchup, all we want to see is kill spells, and we don't see any kill spells. Probably this is going to be my last match for tonight. I might come back on later, but after this match I have a phone call I need to make. I don't want to push myself too hard. As far as the cough and such. Opponent's really tanking over there. Okay, Skyclave taking Jace. Kinda awkward. Almost nothing we do here is going to be particularly good, but like Liliana is not going to be particularly good here. Until we actually nab a Obzedat we want to pitch. I was going to say, no, good chance our opponent's card in hand was a Path to Exile, but they don't usually play a Path main deck, so probably not. Okay. Looking like we're going to lose this one. So we start by Garoyosing Jace. Hope somehow we hit a Obzedat off of this. Silent Clearing. Possible I wasn't supposed to escalate. I think our opponent should just have pinged us and then attacked one of the creatures at Jace. Another matchup where Engineered Explosives is probably going to be pretty decent. I think that Pithing Mule are the only cards I'm interested in. Why? It's a lot of missed damage. Life, not particularly relevant. I think I actually plus here. Last card in hand was a land. Because it's unlikely, unless they draw another Hierarch, that they can kill Liliana anyway. And eating a Noble Hierarch doesn't seem particularly interesting to me. That's a rough one. Yep. Does Heliod allow them to kill it? I don't think so. They've already been through both Walking Ballistas, so they can't... I don't think they can combo kill us that way. So we'll find out if they have a third ballista. No, they literally went and got a noble hierarch. Yep, give it lifelink. I don't even know what I'm hoping to hit here. Just don't think Collective Brutality gets us far enough ahead. Blood Chief's Thirst, yeah, not good enough. We're just dead on board pretty much. Maybe not exactly dead on board, but we're in bad shape. Bring in the Needle for Spike Feeder and Heliod. Is Gust worth it? I mean, it does gust some of their creatures, but I don't know how much that we particularly care. Like, it might be able to do Collected Company. I don't know. I think Liliana is overall pretty bad in this matchup. Teferi probably isn't the greatest. So maybe we can try 2 Ether Gusts. Go down like 1 Groya's Vengeance, because they could easily bring in what does this hand do? I think it's fine with the Cling and the Thought Scour. I think we'll lead off on the Thoughtseize. We could potentially want a cantrip on one to try to hit more land drops, but Arbor Elf, Heliod. So if I take the Arbor Elf, it's a couple turns before these come down. I think I just take the Ranger Captain, because Heliod I don't particularly care about with... I mean, I do, but I don't. Let's just take Ranger Captain here. Besides, we could always draw Fatal Push or Blood Chief's Thirst. Ourselves, hope to hit a land here. Well, looks like we lose the game potentially. At least we milled over a couple of spells instead of lands, which we really need. Boo-boo-boo. Yep. I think we play Cling to Dust here. Alright, we drew a land, so we fetch. Stop the Heliod Combo. All of a sudden my eyes are bugging me. Feels like this should be a reasonable matchup, but just like, I don't know. Game 1, we didn't see much removal, and then this game I obviously kept the kind of dirty hand. And our opponent might be able to punish us for that. Collected Company main phase. Yep, looks like they drew a, Oriok Champion, sure. You hit spell. Walking Ballista. Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, we didn't have a Jace or an Obzedat yet, so I think we just pass the turn and take our beating. Hopefully they don't have a way to turn on Heliod here. Spike Feeder, yeah, whatever. It's possible I should have brought in the Ashioks just to have an additional way to mill them out. But first we gotta take over the game before we can worry about milling them out. Vengeance to Fairy. Pretty sure we're just dead. Alright, that was kind of annoying. I kind of kept a stinker of a hand on that one, so I knew I should have mulliganed that hand, but, you know, the 3/1 drop spells, I thought maybe we could get there, but I should know better. Especially in the only 19 land deck that's hoping to get to cast 3 drops. So, anywho, I'm going to call it an evening there. I know we haven't finished the league yet, but I don't want to push myself too far right now. And I have a phone call I need to make. So, thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And those of you checking this out on YouTube, hope you're enjoying the slightly offbeat from what we normally play, but decks seem fun, so I figured I'd give it a spin. This has been John for MTG Nexus. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a follow here over on Twitch.